JRTV is back with the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series 2004 season. We're here at the Martinsville Speedway in Ridgeway, Virginia for the running of the Advanced Auto Parts 500 short track racing in the Nextel Cup Series. Always crazy racing that we expect, especially at a track like Martinsville. I'm Joe Rakowski, Trey Bartle alongside me in the booth. And Trey, it's great to be back at the short track in Martinsville, Virginia, a track where drivers can really get physical with each other, not only because it's a short track, but it's a track where we have to slow down a lot for the corners. There's a lot of chance that contact could be made through those corners, even going into the corners.
Yeah, this is a place where if you somehow get out of, this place without a dent or scratch on your car, then you clearly weren't racing hard enough, right? So we'll have to see what today brings here with the amount of carnage these guys are going to bring, and you never know. This is the place where any sort of disagreement kind of gets settled.
And anything, all these unknowns that head into Martinsville, even more unknowns heading into this weekend because the track got resurfaced between the 2003 season and the 2004 season. So we have fresh asphalt down on the straightaways and high in the corners, fresh concrete down in the middle of the corners. Goodyear's had to bring a more conservative tire to make sure it doesn't wear out and basically explode under loading because the track has so much grip now. These guys are going a little bit faster through the corners. So Trey, unknowns there where the drivers are saying the cars and the tires don't really have that much grip, which means they're kind of sliding through the corners. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. I mean, we could see a whole bunch of contact. We could see cars spread out. We could see cars on top of each other. We don't really know what's going to happen because this is a completely new track, completely new surface, and a completely new tire that Goodyear's brought here to the track.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not one of the ones racing it right now because, like you said, it is completely unknown, and these drivers are going to go into this first corner here whenever we get the green flag, full throttle, and yeah, we don't know what's going to go down, so it's going to be it'll be interesting to watch these guys learn throughout this race here, and whoever can learn the fastest really is going to be the one that comes out on top.
And amongst all the unknowns that are heading into this weekend, a lot has stayed the same from the last time we were at Martinsville. Why do I say that? Well, last season in this race, on pole was the number 2 Penske car. Starting in second place was the highest Hendrick car in points. Starting in third place was Keegan Thompson. Well, here we are, a year later, Trey. On pole is the Penske number 2 car. Different driver, but still the same car. Starting second is the highest Hendrick car in points, Lathan Strickland. Starting third is Keegan Thompson. How does that happen, Trey, 2 seasons in a row?
I don't know. I don't like it, though. Who ended up winning last time that happened? That's someone we want to watch all day because it seems like it could happen again.
It's that number 5 car, Trey. So maybe watch for Keegan Thompson.
Yeah, that might be he might be a little happy seeing all this stuff sort out like it is.
Yes, and he has a good starting spot. The inside lane is something that the drivers think is going to be a benefit throughout the race. However, from what drivers have said, they might not be able to hold the bottom of the corner, so if they kind of slide up, they might have to check up. Guys on the outside could maybe get some good runs off the corner. We'll have to see if that all comes into play here today at the Martinsville Speedway. We'll take a look at the track facts. It's a beautiful day for racing in the 60s here at Martinsville with a lot of wind, 8 miles an hour, but we'll hope that that doesn't impact the race at all here today at the Martinsville Speedway. This track is just over half a mile in length. That's about 0.85 kilometers. It's a 100-lap race. That's 52.6 miles. And the fuel window is something to watch out for. 60 to 68 laps. If we get some caution flags throughout, we could see if that fuel window comes into play, if a caution comes out at the right time. 12 degrees of banking in the corners and no banking on the straights. And 2 of the last 4 winners at the Martinsville Speedway got their first career victory. We'll have to see if that can maybe happen again here today. The only one really around the front that can maybe get that done is Ryan Wilson, who starts in 7th place. And the 8 drivers that did not qualify here today: Skylar Taylor in the 09, John Barrymore the 14, Nathan Barrett in the 22, Nathan Stapleton in the 42, Colin Teague in the 49, Marcus Lerb the 50, Tegan Fox the 59, Angel Gutierrez in the number 70 car. But something that we're starting new this week for JRTV is over the course of the week, we're going to be putting up on JRTV.com a poll for the fans, the audience, to pick who they think is going to win out of 4 randomly chosen drivers for the week's race. And then the results of the poll will get posted right here at the start of the race with our picks. So Trey, this week the audience picked a pretty good one. Jordan Stout, who starts in 8th place here today, got 41% of the vote. He's the pick for the audience to win here today at Martinsville. I mentioned a good pick because he's finished 3rd the last 2 times we've come here at Martinsville. So Trey, with the audience pick out of the way, who's your pick to win?
You know, I want to go with the guy starting right next to him there. Then that 15, Ryan Wilson. I think he now I know that he's not had the best starts of the season. I understand, but you know, Joe, it's Martinsville. He's on the inside, starting near the front. What else could you want?
And it's a guy who really likes short track racing. So, as mentioned, there's a lot going his way in terms of where he starts and where he is, but also just his mentality going in. He might get it done here, but he really needs something good to happen to him this season. He's not finished better than 16th still. His average finish is 27.1. He's outside the top 30 in points. I'm going to go with, last week I went with the whole, trend prediction of how it went last season, where Martinsville started on pole at Phoenix and then Chris Jericho passed him and got to the lead and won the race. I did that last season. This season I'm going to do the same thing. Keegan Thompson won last season under very similar circumstances. He's going to get it done again this season in that number 5 from 3rd place, and I mean, it would be big for him. He's not finished inside the top 5 without winning the race since the middle of 2002, the Daytona Night Race, the Firecracker 400. 52 races, Trey. He's gone inside the top. Every time he's finished inside the top 5, he's won. I think he's going to continue that here today. He'll finish inside the top 5, but it'll be another race victory for Keegan Thompson in the number 5. We'll go down trackside, fire the cars up for the Advanced Auto Parts 500 here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
Copy there, Brent. Yes, sir. Real good, man. Sorry, 1G, got a copy on me in the car. Right on. Good on that. Yeah, 10-4.
Great command to get us going here at the Martinsville Speedway to do battle for the Advanced Auto Parts 500 here in Ridgeway, Virginia. And how about this stat, Trey, before we get to the green flag? The last 4 races have gone caution-free. Rockingham, Atlanta, Vegas, Phoenix. Before that happened, the previous record in the JRTV era since 2000 was last season, 3 consecutive races. So we've broken a record, 4 straight races without a caution flag. We'll see if that continues for a 5th straight here today at the Martinsville Speedway. The pace car is in. Zidell and Strickland going to lead us to the green flag. Thompson, Gary, and DeLello round out the top 5. Points leader Jay Riddle starts back in 32nd. The green flag waves over the Martinsville Speedway. Trey, pretty good jump for Justin Zidell. He gets away. The Hendrick teammates side by side for a second. Keegan Thompson gets through to 2nd. Strickland back to 3rd, but should get down in line in front of DeLello. Zidell up the track through turns 1 and 2. Keegan as well. Strickland kind of held the curve pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows you right there, these are probably some of the fastest speeds these guys have gone entering into these corners here. You can see that 2 is still kind of sliding up the track, but really he's making it work right now, so we'll have to see how all that develops here throughout this race. But yeah, these guys are still trying to figure out what it's like in race conditions here. You can see everyone's running really a different line.
See, DeLello moves up to 4th, Wilson to 5th, Gary back to 6th, bit in line, then Burnett in 7th, Wells in 8th, Stout 9th, Spurley to 10th. Behind them, first side-by-side battle, Chris Jericho inside of Crown Jr. Is he going to get that spot? Crown Jr. now under fire from Evan Hunter, comes in 2nd in the points. Could be a big points day for Hunter with his championship rival further back in the field. Hunter currently up inside the top 15. We'll see if Hunter can try and get to the points lead at the end of the day. Jericho's still going after Kukulon. That's for 11th, and he sent it down to the bottom of the corner. He's going to make it stick and grab that 11th spot away. Kukulon way up the track.
Yeah, I think Jericho might have scared Kukulon there for a second because it did not look like he was ready for that move, but Jericho made it work. We'll see if Keegan Thompson kind of wants to do the same thing, but doesn't look like he's going to be as risky as at 18. So right now, Keegan's just kind of, timing his stuff here and kind of seeing what the car feels like. He's not got that much worry out back because it is a teammate, so we'll have to see how these guys work out here as that 2 is still struggling off turn 2.
Yes, he is. He gets 3 and 4 pretty good, but turns 1 and 2, he's been missing lap after lap. That time he goes a little bit wide. I think maybe they'll the outside 3 and 4 working a little bit better, but that time he couldn't get off the corner. Thompson has the nose to the inside, should get the spot into turn 1, down to the bottom. He kind of slides wide. Lathan Strickland's looking 3 wide off turn 2.
I don't know where you want to be right here, Joe. These guys are still side by side. What does Lathan really... He's trying to figure out how he can get past these guys without... 1, wrecking a teammate, and 2, wrecking the guy on the outside as the 2 almost hit the wall there coming off of 4. Right now, though, Strickland is finally going to get to the inside of him. Keegan takes the lead. Strickland's going to get to the inside of the leader now, which is his teammate, Keegan Thompson. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yes, there is. And these 3, all under a blanket battling like they are, 4th place, DeLello. 5th place, Gary are coming in. Thompson goes wide. Strickland to the inside of his teammate, and another battle for the lead. This time, Lathan Strickland to the inside into turns 1 and 2. He kind of slides wide. Thompson up into the asphalt, and here comes Idell back to the inside of the number 2 car. 3 wide up the back straightaway.
They got to be careful here. That was a nice... You know what? It might have hurt kind of ducking out of the inside line there for that too, but it was probably the best idea he's had, because if he would have committed to that, Joe, we might be looking at a 3-car pile up in turns 3 and 4.
Trey, I don't know the last time I saw this many on-track passes for the lead at Martinsville in a full race, and it's only 10 laps in. We've seen already, like, what, 3 different leaders in this race?
I don't know. I lost count after the first 2 laps.
And look at Zidell looking back to the inside. Strickland into 1. He gets into him.
Contact.
Sends him way up the track, and Zidell is back to the lead. A bump and run into turn 1 on lap number 11.
I don't think Lathan's going to be too happy about that being barely just past 10 laps into this race. I mean, that was a wild move right there.
Yes, I think he just got into that corner so hard. He saw the opening to the bottom and just got it a little bit too hard, slid up the track. Fortunately, Strickland kept it going straight, but look at this. These 3 battling. Zidell's going to try and get away as Thompson and Strickland go side by side. Here comes DeLello in 4th, Gary in 5th, Burnett in 6th, and Wilson in 7th. They all are catching up as Gary is right on the bumper of DeLello into turns 1 and 2. DeLello had a very, very rough go at it at Phoenix. It's just been a track he's not been able to get down, but here today at Martinsville started well, currently running up inside the top 5. This is a track, Trey, where DeLello's been very good. In the last 3 starts, 15th, 7th, and 8th. So DeLello's another driver that can try and, just continue that consistency and get some points back here at Martinsville.
Yeah, and you definitely know for sure that looking at these 3 leaders battling, he wants to get up there as quickly as he can, either join in the battle or take advantage of any incidences like we almost saw. So we'll have to see if he can work his way up here. As you see, we're looking at the 28 and the 6 really battling it out here, with Jericho still driving hard up to the front. So there's battles really forming all over this place, Joe, and really the question is which one's the best one?
Yeah, they're kind of side by side all over this racetrack, and it's only half a mile long, so soon we're going to be getting into lap traffic. Here's a good battle. There's a battle for second going on. Strickland to the inside of his teammate again into turns 1 and 2, trying to take that second spot away. I love these kind of wide camera shots, because then you can see a lot of stuff going on around the racetrack, not just, kind of zoomed in on one battle or just, a few cars.
Yeah, exactly, right? And it just shows you how intense this is. And again, we're not even a quarter of the way into the race yet, and we still got battling all over the place. As you can see, the 2 Hendrick guys are still going back to back, side by side, and really, I mean, I'm kind of surprised at how well this top side's holding, Joe.
Yeah, it's doing a very good job. I just don't know if the inside doesn't have the grip to hold. And you can see right there, Strickland actually was able to hold that second spot by using the outside. Behind them, Tim Gary moves to 4th on the inside, getting by Zachary DeLello. DeLello's going to try and come back on the bottom of the racetrack. He gets a little sideways off the corner, and Matthew Burnett may look for a shot at the spot. That would be for a top 5 position. Burnett only has, Trey, 1 top 10 this season, and that was his win at Atlanta. So, this 25 driver, this 25 team, very hungry to get back to the top 10 with different circumstances this time. Maybe another win as well.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we know Hendrick's strong, so we'll just have to see if he can join up to his teammates right now. But, yeah, I mean, at a place like this, at a track like this, if you can defend off for a top 10, that's almost as good as winning, just because of how difficult it is here to hold your position with things like the bump and run. And at the moment, it's the way this track's running. Whoa, Wells got wide.
Yes, he did. He was basically up in the asphalt there, and luckily he was able to keep it out of the wall. This man, Riley Spiritu, looks fast. He's just moved to 8th place, getting by Mathis Wells, and a track where normally it's not been too good to him in the past. He has an average finish of 20.2 here at the Martinsville Speedway in 5 starts, but here today running a lot better. Currently up inside the top 10, trying to get some points, get up there inside the top 10. He's kind of had a struggling start to the season, but really starting to pick it up as of late and trying to get some points back. Speaking of back for second place, Keegan Thompson on Lathan Strickland. These two not getting enough of each other, even though they're teammates, Trey. They're battling very, very aggressively. You can see Thompson not giving Strickland much room, but once again, the 48 really powers off the top of turn number 2 and is nearly clear into turn 3, and I think he might clear him through 3 and 4. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh!
The wall.
Strickland popped the wall hard.
Well, I guess we found out what the, wow, it was also a close call there. I guess we found out what the limit is on the outside here.
Yep, Lathan found that. Now, Trey, here's a question. As a driver, what does that damage do to the 48? Is it going to affect the handling, or is it just going to be something where they're just going to field out, look it out, and maybe on pit road pull out the fenders if they think it might start rubbing a brand new tire on the car?
I mean, with the way this is, you know, if you get out on pit road, you're going to lose laps, right? At least 2, maybe 3. So I think the best thing they're going to have to do at the moment is just what they're doing right now is have Latham stay out there, see what the car feels like. And if they think they can go until pit stops happen, then that's what they're going to go because, I mean, track position is just so valuable. And if you lose laps here, you just don't guarantee that you can get them back.
Tim Gary moving for third on that number 48 car. They're battling very aggressively for that spot, side by side, basically door to door, Strickland really wide through turns 3 and 4, and I think Tim Gary is going to make the pass work in turns 1 and 2. Strickland pulls even with him at the start-finish line, but down to 1, Tim has the advantage, might be able to run Strickland up the track a little bit, and car number 10, oh, he's not clear yet, Trey. Strickland's doing a great job with that outside lane.
I don't think that damage is really hurting him too much, do you?
No, I think, and even, you know, you would think he'd make
He's just got to be careful.
Oh, my goodness.
This is not going to work. You can't do 3 wide.
Into 1, Burnett slides wide. Gary slides up into Strickland. They put both in the wall.
What? Joe, I don't know. I mean, that could have been a lot worse. I don't know how they made 3 wide work as well as they did.
You know how they made it work? Burnett hit the loud pedal, got out there and said, you two figure it out, and they ended up hitting the wall because Burnett made that aggressive move. Burnett through to third, DeLello's through to fourth, Gary's back to fifth, Strickland sixth, and Risberg to seventh, and these two aren't done with each other.
Did you see how low Spurley Tube was on corner? Oh my goodness.
Do you think
Is this
Strickland?
Peppers or is this just harder? Oh, Tim's in the wall now.
Do you think Latham thought Tim was the one that put him in the wall, and it wasn't just that the 25 didn't really give Tim much room?
It's hard to tell, but as you can see, Tim has a lot more damage than Latham did at that time, and that is definitely crinkled in on that right side of that car. So
Caution.
He's going to be, oh, caution's out.
And it looks like it might have been Matt Tuck. He has some rear damage. It might have been a simple spin into turn 1. You see right there, there's that rear end damage. So we'll have to see if our cameras caught anything as the caution flag is out. And now we'll see with 70 laps to go. This is beyond their fuel window, but Trey, they're going to come down there close enough to where, you know, if it goes green the rest of the way, it'll just be a simple, you know, stop and go at the end for maybe a second or two to get, what, 5 laps of fuel in the car.
Yeah, definitely just a splash and go, but we'll have to see how pit road goes. You definitely think guys like Latham Strickland and Tim Gary are going to be a little bit longer with the damage they have on the right side of their cars, so we'll have to see how far back they fall, especially this 10, because, Joe, that right side is absolutely crinkled.
Yeah, Tim's been in the wall 2 very hard times. The first one with, you know, where he slid up with the 48, and then the second time where he got sent by the 48 into the corner. See Strickland into that number 2 pit stone. We'll have to see how long they take on the right side of that 48 car. All of the 42 cars are on pit road, and it's going to be a 4-tire change. They're just banking on this being their one stop, and then they'll make another one at some point soon as the field comes off, and Justin Seidel is going to win the race off barely over that number 5 of Keegan Thompson. Matthew Burnett, a pretty good stop in third, and I don't think they did much change in that 48 car.
I mean, he was still pretty racy, so I don't think they would have changed much, but the guy I do not see coming off pit road is that 10. Is that him right there?
Yep.
Yeah, he lost a lot of ground, Joe.
Yeah, they obviously couldn't repair it. They pushed it in as much as they could. They did as much as they could, but obviously they weren't going to be able to repair it fully. But Tim is back out. He didn't lose all that much. He was back around 10th when he came in. I think he comes off around 15th. You see some cars had slower pit stops. It looks like they're going to fall a lap down, Trey. This number 7 and the 84, the 21, and the 00. They're going to be 4 cars at the back of the field, 1 lap down. They didn't beat the stop sign to come off pit road.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing. That's a timing thing right there. You got to make sure your spotter and crew chief are on the same page there. You can't fall back because then stuff like this happens. Don't hit Barry. Careful there. You're going to get a penalty.
Yeah, that I don't know what they're going to think of that. As Max Davis, you know, he kind of pulled up and passed a car on pit road. We'll have to see what NASCAR thinks of that, but they're finally able to come off. Those 4 will be a lap down. I think the 485's tail end of the lead lap possibly, as I don't think he stayed out, no. So 45 car is going to be tail end in front of the leaders with Seidel in the lead. We'll go check out what happened. Caution flag number 1 out in the Advanced Auto Parts 500 at the Martinsville Speedway. Here's the reason for the first caution of the day. Matt Tuck saw an opening, but sent it in too hard. Trey got to Oskin, and I think, you know, very smart move by Tuck. Instead of wrecking Oskin, he just decided to wreck himself. Didn't want to make any enemies there.
Yeah, we've seen the good old send it and run type of maneuver before, but it doesn't seem like he got that one down quite as good as he was hoping, and did a good job not involving anyone else. That 24 had a close call, though.
Yes, he did. Jerry Chen got around the outside, but this man, no close calls so far today. Justin Seidel has led most of the laps, but now has a restart to deal with a lap car in front. see if this number 2 can hold on for the first restart of the day. Back here on JRTV, ready for the first restart of the day and cleaning up the first caution since the end of the Texas World Race a few races ago. So our cautionless streak is broken, but now at the front, Zaydell still in the lead, looking for his first win since 2000. Keegan Thompson trying to win back-to-back Martinsville races is in second. Burnett, his teammate, third. DeLello fourth. Another Hendrick car. Strickland inside the top 5. You have Riley Spurgeon, Brian Wilson, Roger Crown Jr., Georgetown, Eli Bright up to the top 10. Back green at Martinsville. What a great jump for Matthew Burnett to the inside for second place.
We'll have to see what he can do if he can continue it right now. Remember that 45 is not for position. He is the end of the lead lap here, so this 2 has got to be careful how he races him here, because any small mistake, that he's going to be dealing with a lot of guys behind him.
Jerry Chen had an issue. He's on pit road with the right side up, so obviously something wrong with that number 24, and his struggling stretch of races continues. Jerry Chen off the lead lap now as 2 of his teammates battle side by side for a second, and Zaydell really gets away, as in his mirror there's just a log jam of car seat. Now Joe Staub's on the pit road, and something that could be happening with where they restart here, Trey, a lot of cars are in the corner of 3 and 4, and a lot of drivers see the opening to the bottom and they say, I'm going to take it. But Trey, what can you not do before the start finish on a restart? You cannot pass to the inside, and some guys like to do that because it kind of leaves their mind, right? They see the opening to the bottom, they say, I'm going to take it, but then they get a penalty from NASCAR.
They try to be a little sneaky, and NASCAR don't miss that very much. So that definitely could have been what happened there, but now that just means they're going to come back out with a full field of racing. So they got to be careful with how they re-enter this track and where they re-enter it, because it could cause some problems.
Thompson's got back up to second. DeLello had third for maybe half a lap. Lathan Strickland takes that away. Oh, almost 3 wide. Matthew Burnett tried to force it to the middle. Riley Spurgeon filled the bottom. He's going to move up inside the top 5. So this number 28 car coming alive, just like he did in the first run of the race. Brian Wilson trying to come back up. There you see his teammate Eli Bright back at the top 10, trying to get by Jordan Stout for 9th. As Keegan Thompson trying to get by Joe Stout, once again coming off pit road a lap or 2 down. Number 5 will do that. Now Zaydell's his hands full with the lap car in front of Reed in turn 1.
Yeah, that's a questionable move there. We'll have to see how that all comes about now, but we'll have to we'll keep an eye on those guys.
I understand trying to pass a guy, Trey, to get back on the lead lap, but hitting the leader, I think that might be stretching it a little bit.
It definitely might be, but I mean, he made it work. He got back around. He just better hope he can run away now.
Yeah, he has to, and he's not really doing all that much of it. But Zaydell also has to be smart here. He can't be playing games with Hunter Reed. He has to know that the 5 car is closing in behind, and he can try and pass the 45, but don't start hitting him and start slowing yourself down in the process.
Best way to pass someone is to dump them if they get too aggressive with you. Just saying.
From the past race car driver, I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. I'll trust you on this one.
Well, we'll have to see what
Evan
he does
Hunter.
here. Oh.
Second in the points is on pit road. That's obviously not a penalty because of how long it was after a restart, but he may have had an issue, and he's on pit road. So second in points, Hunter is looking for a big point stage, Trey. Not going to happen. He's going to fall a lap or 2 down.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Maybe he got into the wall or something, and they had to replace some of the right side tires, left side tires, or whatever they were working on there. It's going to be curious to see how he ends up re-entering this as the 2 finally got around that 45. They got to be careful, though. He's going to file in with the 28 stuck up top, but he should be all right.
Yeah, so he's going to come out, but he's now 2 laps down. So very tough there for Evan Hunter. Once again, was looking as he scraped the wall, trying to get a good entrance into the corner.
Oh, now we're looking 3 wide.
Wow, Matthew Burnett, not afraid to make the big moves today. Burnett going to make it through the bottom, up front for the lead. Keegan Thompson is right there on Justin Zaydell. Meanwhile, further back, I want to give an update on where the points leader, Jay Reno, is running right now in 26th. He's moved up some spots, but up front for the lead. Penske and Hendrick go at it into turn number 3 with Zaydell in the lead. Thompson trying to get there, and it looks like the 5 car maybe a little bit better this run of the race.
Yeah, well, you mentioned second in points. Evan Hunter had to go down pit road for some reason. So, do you think that gives the points leader any less worry, or is he still kind of, being like, I'm not happy with what this 36 is doing and how we're running at the moment?
Yeah, I'd be worried just being back in that mess, because if they're racing like this for the lead, Trey, what are they doing back at 26th place? I don't know. But right there at the line, too close to call. Zaydell led that lap, and the 24 is David Dixon now on pit road on the 39, so he has an issue. As we're going 3 wide with the lap car to the bottom.
We're going 3 wide again.
Wow, and This is for the lead, but one car's a lap down. The 24 Jerry Chen is out with a header, so mechanical issues put the 24 out. We're still 3 wide.
Oh.
Look at this off the corner.
I mean, I don't know how NASCAR feels about a lap car racing like this, but it's
no.
making it entertaining for us. Now we're 3 wide for the lead.
Oh, and Thompson
No!
slams Idell into the wall. He drops back, and here comes Lathan Strickland to the inside of the 48 car. He's going to try and take it away from all the madness that's happening around him. Strickland's through to the lead.
Look at the drive off this 48 has with the damage on the right side. You know, I think that damage would have helped them.
I mean, it narrows up the car, doesn't it?
That was a very unique sequence of events there. Again, I don't understand the thought process behind that 45, but it works.
Yeah, luckily for Idell, even though he hit the wall, I think he got away with it. He doesn't have all that much damage, so I think, you know, I mean, you compare it to the 48 car, it doesn't look like it really hit the wall.
Yeah, that is that's a fair comparison there, and it does look a lot better than anything else. But Joe, what did I say that you're lucky if you get out of this place without any scratches on your car?
Yeah, and how many people do you think have a clean race car out there? Because I don't know how many would. As you can see, Keegan Thompson gunning for the lead on teammate Lathan Strickland off turn 2 with Hunter Reed. Once again, in the middle of it, on the outside, further back, Crown Jr. in the 43 just moved to 6th place by Riley Springfield. What a run for Crown Jr. in this race.
You know, I mean, I'm not surprised with this teammate here racing these leaders like he's going for the lead. Looks like this team's got speed.
Caution is out.
Oh, again.
And another simple thing, but they're racing back to the line. Right here, Hunter Reed was trying to stay on the lead lap, and it looks like Lathan Strickland is going to keep them back to the caution. I don't know what Keegan Thompson's doing there.
Oh.
I don't know if he has an issue or if he was just... Yeah, that was weird. As the field
They
is
got to be careful slowing up here.
Yeah, so some of the...
Oh, contact with the 43!
Oh, and the 15's around. I think they might be fine, though. Crown not happy, obviously, with Riley Spurley, too, because he was the one that hit him.
I think Crown came down on Spurley tube, though. It looked like the 28 was there, and the 43 just tried to... Oh, anyways, pit stops.
Yeah, so now they know they can make it from here, so they're going to come in, get their splash of fuel or whatever, maybe 2 tires. David Dixon, looks like he was one involved in the crash, as he has a lot of damage, and cars that fell a lap down are trying to, you know, get back around the pace car here, and they're going to have to be careful on pit road if they don't go fast enough. You see Hunter Reed and Evan Hunter are already a lap down. They're going to have to put the next time by, but Lathan Strickland, we'll see what they do on pit road. Is it going to be any tire change or just fuel only for these guys?
You know what? I'm going to let them... I was going to say, I'm going to let them figure that out. I ain't going to speculate.
Yeah, just all those lap cars now. I don't know if they're going to stay out or if they're going to... 2 tires for the 48 car. It's probably the smart move.
Yeah, it's definitely the nice one. He's fast, so we'll have to see if 2 tires might be a thing that they can incorporate later in the run if we have another pit stop here. But that was the 84 in the wall?
Well, they have to be careful. These guys are trying to pit. The 84 is trying to pit. And he's trying to let the lead lap cars go. You see right there, he was like, hey, listen, you got to go.
Well, this is the fun part to Martinsville, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the chaos of racing at a half-mile racetrack. And see, these guys, they were on pit road. They took fuel when they were on pit road, so they probably think they can make it. So Hunter and Staubs staying out to try and get a lap back and hope for a caution and try and move themselves to just 1 lap down the 48 car. Leads them onto pit road, leads them off pit road. We'll go check out what happened. Those second caution flag out just past the midpoint here in the Advanced Auto Parts 500 at Martinsville. Well, Trey, I think the lead lap car, Ryan Wilson, got fed up with 2 lap cars, kind of ran them wide. Dixon got the wall, and then Jordan Stout said, I can't lift, and that's about as hard as you can hit a wall in Martinsville. Look at Tim Gary right here. Woo!
I don't think you can get any closer at Martinsville without making contact, Joe.
No, I do not think so, but the caution flag came out. Then the leaders had to race back around here and want to focus on this 43 car Crown Jr. Ryan Wilson. They spun. I don't think they really had much contact, though, so I think they're going to be fine to continue on because they got some...
Oh, maybe it was a little bit of tempers then.
And then was Hunter mad at Ryan Wilson for forcing him off the track? I don't know.
There's what did I say that tempers or any sort of battles can get settled out here? It looks like we got some going.
Yeah, there's been a lot of angry people today. In fact, one of the drivers who was involved in some angriness early on was the race leader, Lathan Strickland, where, he and Tim Gary kind of got together with, Matthew Burnett, Strickland's teammate, moving to the inside. But the 48 car, amongst all that, has gotten to the lead. He's going to try and hold it on this restart, which will come in the second half of the Advanced Auto Parts 500. Just over 40 laps to go when we get the green flag here at Martinsville. Still only 1 car out, that's Jerry Chen because of his mechanical issues, but now there's loads of lap traffic around our race leaders. So you have 2 lap cars, Hunter and Staubs trying to stand on 1 lap down, hoping to get a quick caution. Then you have the 2 leaders, Strickland and Thompson. David Dixon's 4 laps down. Then Zidell in 3rd, DeLella 4th, 5th Burnett, Crown Jr. 6th, Burrington 7th, Wilson 8th, Stout 9th, Eli Bright 10th. The green flag is out. Oh, Lathan Strickland, he might get a penalty!
Oh, well, did he just choke his own race away, Joe?
He may have. We'll have to see what the call is. Cars are in the wall further back, and Lathan Strickland a penalty, and Justin Zidell a penalty!
I think that is your 2 biggest competitors. A penalty on the restart, Joe. A rookie mistake by 2 non-rookies.
Samet Oskin with a penalty as well in the 81, but these 2 were inside the top 5 the whole race. Lathan Strickland, Justin Zidell, 2 of the cars that started inside the top 3 are now on pit road and going to follow a lap down as Keegan Thompson is now in the lead. DeLello in 2nd, Burnett's now 3rd, Ryan Wilson up to 4th. 5th place is now Jordan Stout. Eli Bright has moved to 6th by Crown Jr.
Strickland cannot be happy. He has to be careful, though, here, not to ruin the race, but what a turn of events.
I know. I mean, that is 2 of the cars that have led the most laps today. Like you said, 2 of the biggest contenders here today are now out of the running unless something really, really crazy happens. But they didn't, no one else did anything wrong. It was just their own mental mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, it was them. Strickland was thinking he's got to get around these lappers as quickly as possible, right? But you got to wait till the start-finish line to do that.
Whoa! Look at Matt as well as he just threaded the needle right in between David Dixon, who's 4 laps down, and Tim Gary. That's battle for 9th and 10th between Wells and Gary. Jude Martinelli moving up. He's up to 11th place and closing in for the top 10 on Matt as well. And right behind them, Laura Chung has had a very, very dismal start to the season. Currently down 35th in points for this number 19, running up inside the top dozen and closing in on the top 10. 10th place is right in front. That's Jude Martinelli, who just moved to 10th.
All right, it's time to get back and do a little bit of a good rhythm here, good motion, some good battling, right? No more craziness.
Well, see, they've cut the hood off of Samet Oskin in the 81 car, and Keegan Thompson is out there trying to put him another lap down with Zachary DeLello closing in because of that battling. And then up the road, Evan Hunter is like, please, a caution flag come out, because right now he's just 1 lap down, and there's a lot of cars that are 1 lap down that he can get spots off of, right? Like the 21, the 00, the 84, the 7, the 45, the 2, and the 48. They're all 1 lap down. We only have 30 cars on the lead lap, and right now the points leader Rando up in the 22nd position. Matthew Burnett in 3rd, trying to keep touch with the front 2. Ryan Wilson in 4th. His teammate Eli Bright trying to join him up inside the top 5. That's a battle for 5th and 6th between Stout and Bright. They've been around each other pretty much all race long. These 2 have been around each other a lot of the race. Crown Jr. 7th, Ryan Spirit 8th. Tim Gary's mentioned up to 9th, trying to rebound from that damage he got earlier in the slow pit stop. And here's the battle for 10th. Jude Martinelli having a good day, trying to pick up the scraps of his teammate Zidell. Penske Jasper is hoping on the 2 car to have a good day. Zidell's now a lap down, and the 77 car, Trey Martinelli, trying to get the team a good result.
Yeah, and he's doing everything he needs to, keeping the car clean. Almost made contact there at the wall, but kept it off of it. But yeah, he's just doing what he needs to do right now.
There's Tyler Belladonna, got just his 2nd top 10 of his career last race at Phoenix. Great pit call for that 17 last week did it, but here today, he's really done a great job driving through the field. Just moves to 12th place by Laura Chung. Here comes Chris Jericho on the number 18. He's, Trey, it's been an uncharacteristic day for Jericho. Haven't really talked about this number 18. He's been around this kind of 15th place all day long and just kind of been quiet.
Yeah, that's strange from a guy like Jericho, but sometimes you just have those days where you can't really move forward. You don't really fall back. You just kind of pick them off one by one if you can, and you just go out of here with saying, hey, we did what we could. It's not bad, it's not good, and you just kind of are okay with it.
Matt, as well as his teammate, being aggressive with Tim Gary for 9th. Ryan Wilson into the wall in a battle with Stout. That was for 4th place. Stout moves to 4th. Wilson back to 5th and falling back as his teammate Eli Bright closes in on him. So Ryan Wilson having a good day. Maybe a little bit aggressive there. Maybe the 6 got into him. I don't know, but Wilson hits the wall. We'll have to see if it affects his race car, if he's fine. But right now, his teammate Bright trying to move up into the top 5 to get by him. So I know Dale Letney likes to see 2 of his cars battling at the front end. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen 2 of them battling like this towards the front of the field. And there goes Eli Bright to 5th place.
We'll have to see how well these teammates battle each other. Things got a little sketchy between the 2 Hendrick guys. Maybe these DEI guys will give each other a little bit more respect.
Looks like they did right there. I think Wilson kind of let Eli go, got back in line, but might look for a crossover move back into turn 1 down to the inside. We'll see if Bright gets the drive off the top of turn 2 like we've seen so many times here today. He does, so Bright is clear in 5th for now, if he can just kind of make the bottom of these corners well and keep Wilson behind him. But Wilson got a great job off for that time, closes in on this number 8 car, and all that balance is bringing Riley Spurgeon in 7th, right up into it, and make it a 3-car race for this top 5 spot.
Yeah, definitely. And right now it seems like everyone's just kind of, all right, let's calm it down here a little bit. Let's just do our race, get to the end of this thing, and then with 10 laps to go, maybe we'll pick it up again. Oh, big hit from Eli.
And that was just like what Wilson did a few laps ago. He got wide, he got into the wall, and now he's going to make contact with Roberto Crown Jr. That's 7th and 8th. Crown Jr. moves by Eli Bright in the span of just half a lap, went from 5th to 8th.
Well, so much for keeping it calm.
Yep, yeah, you were like, hey guys, let's just get to the end of the race. And they said, well, there's still positions to be battled for, and they're battling very aggressively for them. So Wilson's back to 5th. Spurgeon now up to 6th, actually battling for that 5th spot with Wilson. Crown Jr. is now 7th. Eli Bright is now back to 8th. Wells up to 9th. He's been kind of moving through the field in this restart. In a top 10 right now for Jude Martinelli in the 77. Tim Gary dropping on this run of the race. Currently back to 13th as Jericho and Belladonna have moved by him, as there goes Mathis Wells. Once again, looking out on Eli Bright. The battle for the lead subsiding right now. It's 9/10 of a second between Keegan Thompson, the leader, and 2nd place DeLello, but that could easily close in if we get a caution flag or if Thompson catches lap traffic.
Oh, and then Wilson hits the wall again.
I have to wonder, Trey, they only took 2 tires last time. As Crown Jr. sent it to the inside. Are the 2 tires kind of wreaking havoc with some of the grip levels?
It definitely looks like you can't run the top side as well if you have 2 tires. It seems like there's a out of bounds, and he might be in the out of bounds again. He's got to be careful on corner exit. Looks like he might have slid it up a little bit more here. But, yeah, it definitely looks like if you get out of that little light gray area there and you kind of dip your wheels outside of that with more confidence than you should have, you're going to end up hitting that wall.
You just have to wonder if the 2 tires are kind of hurting because you're going too wide where you're on concrete and asphalt at the same time. I don't think the tires are going to really like that too much, where it's 2 different types of pavement out there. And see right there, Ryan Wilson dropped back to 9th place, but still so far his best run of the season for that DEI number 15 cars. Eli Bright up to 7th, Crown Jr. up to 6th, Wells up to 8th behind Wilson. Good battle for 10th between Martinelli and Belladonna, but Trey at the front. The lead is closing up. They caught David Dixon to put him a 5th lap down. Keegan Thompson's lead has gone from about 9/10 of a second to a second, all the way down to about 6.5 of a second. And Matthew Burnett is closing in with DeLello as well.
Yeah, this is not good news for Keegan Thompson here. We'll have to see. The real question is how much was he pushing his stuff? Was a little bit of an anger goes out there between the 25 and the 16, but they keep it going straight, so we'll have to keep that in our back pocket and remember that for later on in this race.
And once again, a race might come down to Hendrick Motorsports versus Roush Racing. 200 cars lead it. Keegan Thompson and Matthew Burnett are 1st and 2nd. 2 Roush cars are trying to chase them down. DeLello in 3rd, Jordan Stout in 4th. And then behind them, Riley Spurgeon from Robert Yates Racing, just kind of a lonely 5th, has 2 lap cars in front of him in a world of his own. He's about a 2.5 back of the front 4, but he has about a 2nd on the cars behind. So Riley Spurgeon right now just trying to ride and finish out inside the top 5. Contact for 2nd place. DeLello sends Burnett up the track.
A little bit of a what goes around comes around situation.
It might be. We've seen Burnett be very aggressive here today. DeLello picking up with that as well. He sends Burnett wide, and DeLello's through to 2nd again, but all that battling is doing is allowing Thompson to pull away. 16 to go. The gap is over a 2nd now, and they're going to battle again. Burnett back down to the inside of DeLello. Thompson loves it. He can try and pull away.
As Wells was almost looking 3 wide there, but he had decided better of it, which is probably the best thing you could do there, but then he starts to look into it again on the exit there.
See Crown Jr. up the track. Eli's going to move to 6th place by that 43. Mathis Wells looking for his 4th straight top 10 in the series. Has just moved to 7th and looking for 6th now on that number 8 car further back. Jude Martinelli's lost 10th to Tyler Belladonna, looking for his 2nd straight. You see Crown Jr. missed the corner in 3 and 4. He goes wide. Luckily keeps out of the wall, but that car not handling well. As you can see, we had some smoke on the front stretch, but I don't think a caution has come out. We're still green.
That's interesting. It's not the first time we've seen that, but that's a interesting thing there, but it must have been good enough.
Yeah, I don't know if someone just kind of slid and they kept it going straight. See the tire marks there from whoever it was. We'll obviously see if we can find it for our replay, but Mathis Wells up to 6th by Eli Bright, 5th place. not that far up the road. Riley Spurgeon, we have 13 laps to go. 1 second between the leader Keegan Thompson and everyone behind, but Thompson Trey catching up to very thick lap traffic. Matt Tuck, Evan Hunter, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., some pretty heavy competitors are right in front of that number 5 car. If he gets slowed up a little bit, there's still 11 laps to go at the line. There's still a lot of time for these guys behind to catch up.
Yeah, this is going to be, win or lose for this 5 here, is depending on how well he gets through. As you can see, the 6 almost got a little loose there on corner exit, but this lap traffic is going to be what decides this race here, as they're still racing for second. The 16 finally gets to the inside, but I think that 25 is going to have the drive off.
He did. DeLello, I thought, was maybe going to send it to the inside, but thinks better of it. Going to try and get the run off the corner on the bottom of the racetrack. Eli Bright was going back at Mathis Wells for 6th place. Wells able to keep it for now. 10 laps to go at Martinsville. 1 1/4 seconds between Keegan Thompson and the battle for second, but Keegan now behind Matt Tuck. Got to find a way to get around him in a quick manner, because these guys are definitely a lot slower than the front 4 are. Yeah,
100%. So we'll have to see how easy Keegan is with passing these guys, or if he's going to go aggressive. Looks like the 23 is going to give him the position there on the inside, which is where he wants to be. We'll have to see if he concedes here in 3 and 4. It looks like he's going to.
Yeah, that was nice out of Matt Tuck there, letting Keegan Thompson go, knowing that the 3 cars behind were really closing in, and moved out of the way for him. Keegan lost a 10th that lap. With 8 laps to go, there's still time for that number 25 to 16 to 6, if something happens in lap traffic, to run down and pass Keegan Thompson. You see Riley Spurgeon joining that as well. Max Davis in the wall in front of the 5. He doesn't like seeing that because it could slow up some cars in front. We have 7 laps to go in the Advanced Auto Parts 500. Thompson's gap grew that lap, so we'll have to see, can he try and keep it up? As they're side by side in front of him, that could be good for him though, because he may be able to pass Max Davis in a quick manner.
Yeah, you never know what side-by-side is really going to meet in front of you there, but so far it seems like it works out. He gets the bottom. He's going to send it in the 1 and 2. Should have him pretty much cleared coming out of 2, which he looks like he does now. His eyes are set on this 32, which, again, remember, every car that Keegan passes here, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place all have to pass him as well.
Yep, so he's put 2 lap cars in between he and Matthew Burnett, his teammate, with now 5 laps to go. Any caution flag now would end the race short. Burnett trying to get by Matt Tuck, but the big story is that Keegan Thompson is trying to put another car between he and his teammate Matthew Burnett, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., but Fitzwater's a very hard guy to pass, and he hates lap traffic, but now he's a lap car, so will he move out of the way, or will he fight this leader pretty hard to try and stand the lead lap to the end of the race? There's just 4 laps to go.
I think we know the answer to that.
Yeah, he's going to fight. He's going to fight Keegan for sure. Further back in the top 10, Tyler Belladonna is flying up. He saved his tires for a late run. He's up to 8th place. He got by Crown Jr. and Ryan Wilson. Crown Jr.'s back to 9th, and Jericho's up to 10th for the first time today, as Wilson has dropped back to 12th, and Jude Martinelli is up to 11th place, and the rest of the field trying to stay. But we have 3 laps to go here at Martinsville. Fitzwater fighting Thompson hard, Trey, and it's allowed Matthew Burnett to close in. Just 1 lap car, just about 3/4 of a second between them.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting here, as you can, you know for sure Keegan's feeling the pressure, but I don't know if there's enough time left, because that's a lot. Well, if he does stuff like this, there might be enough time.
At 2 laps to go, still 3/4 of a second. Thompson is going to try and get by Fitzwater right here, and if he can do that, he has a clear shot home. White flag is in the air. Final lap at Martinsville. Keegan Thompson trying to go back-to-back here at this racetrack into turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Hendrick Motorsports holds down a 1-2 right now with Burnett a distant second. Down the back straightaway for the final time into turns 3 and 4. Keegan Thompson did not make a mistake today. Off of 4, checker flag, it's his. He's the winner again at Martinsville.
You can really see how spread out everyone was here. It's pretty much all single file, which just shows you a long run, how different everyone really is here. But the man who learned the track the fastest, Joe, is this 5.
Yep, Keegan Thompson back to victory lane for the first time since the finale last season at Atlanta. His first win of the season. And picks up another win for Hendrick Motorsports and picks up a good amount of points, because he had just moved up inside the top 10 in points, but he kind of hasn't been having a great season, but this will definitely maybe kickstart a good run of races for him. And his teammate Matthew Burnett with his 2nd top 10 of the season with a 2nd place finish here today. Thompson hits his pit stall as everyone else is starting to come in, and Thompson's going to go into that victory lane in the infield very shortly with a good day. And Trey, really, Hendrick Motorsports, they had pretty good cars. Obviously, Lathan Strickland faltered with his pit penalty, but we really had 3 Hendrick cars that could have been battling for the win at the end.
Yeah, 5, 25, 48 are all where we're in contention, and then the 24 had a header go off, and then the 84 was just kind of lost somewhere in the back. But yeah, Hendrick was very strong here, and for a place like Martinsville, I don't think that's that surprising.
No, it's not. They've had some pretty good success here over the passes. We'll take a look at how they finished here today at Martinsville. Keegan Thompson with the race victory gets it done as all his contenders around him kind of took themselves out of it with that final restart and those penalties. Second place goes to his teammate Matthew Burnett, so Hendrick 1-2. I believe last season in this race trade they finished just like that, number 5 over the 25. Last season it was obviously Brett Sierra in the car. Third place to DeLello, fourth place to Stout, so 2 Roush cars right there in a top 5. Riley Sprint holds on over the hard-charging Mathis Wells, who ends up right behind him in 6th. Eli Bright, a very solid day in 7th. Tyler Belladonna moves up nicely, puts 3 Roush cars inside the top 10 in 8th. Crown Jr., a nice day for Petty Enterprises in 9th. And Chris Jericho, who gets up inside the top 10 right there at the end. So both the Joe Gibbs cars are on 4 straight top 10s in this season. Jude Martinelli, a solid day in 11th. Ryan Wilson ran inside the top 10, kind of fell back at the end, but 12th place is his best finish of the season by a few positions. Laura Chung, her best finish of the season. Her previous best was 24th. Here today, 13th. Kukulon in 14th. Benny Lynn at top 15. They see Evans. Tim Gary, I think his car was good in the short runs, not so good in the long runs. He ends up finishing in 17th. Lynn's teammate Nathan Norman 18th. Then you have Atkins and Luke Rainey with top 20 days. They haven't been all that great at Martinsville in the past and kind of showed here today. Points leader Jay Randall couldn't really do much. 24th today. Moves up from a starting spot, but not the best of points days, and he's just lucky that, Evan Hunter kind of fell out of it, but other guys like DeLello's going to close in, and Tim Gary and some of the others, they got some good points in that number 97 here today. Keyshawn Richardson didn't finish all that well. He's not really had all that spectacular of a season. See Fitzwater first car off the lead lap. Lathan Strickland Zidell 31st, 32nd after those penalties on the restart. Evan Hunter 35th. Never got that caution flag to come out to get regrouped, and a few cars multiple laps down and down at the bottom of the list. David Dixon 5 down. Jerry Chen out of the race in the 24 with the header here today at Martinsville. We took a look at the points train. Jay Brando, once again, another not so good race. The 97 does drop a little bit in points, but once again, the guy right behind him who was closest, Evan Hunter, he also faltered here today, and he loses some ground in points as well.
Yeah, well, when one fell, the other fell, so I guess that's the best case scenario for your points leader. But at the same time, are they going through a rut right now, Joe, or is this just a couple of bad races?
It could just be a bump in the road and they could get back going, or is it something that maybe they have to figure out? But luckily, they have an off week to figure it out. There's no race next week as it's Easter, so everyone have a good Easter weekend, but we'll pick back up in 2 weeks' time with the next race, a very different racetrack. We go from the half-mile bull ring here at Martinsville to the very fast 1.5 mile speedway out in Texas. It's the Samsung Radio Shack 500 at the Texas Motor Speedway in 2 weeks' time on JRTV. We'll see how good that race can be, and obviously we go from one of the slowest tracks on the schedule to one of the fastest, where they're going to be hitting speeds 200 miles an hour at the end of the straightaways. That'll be fun to watch in 2 weeks' time on JRTV. But today it's all about Keegan Thompson, first victory of the season, and continues that streak of top 5s without finishing anywhere from 2nd to 5th. Thompson gets another win here at Martinsville. Congratulations to he and the number 5 team. For Trey Bardo and Joe Rakowski, so long from the Advanced Auto Parts 500 at the Martinsville Speedway.